What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today, and today I have a very exciting unboxing video for you all. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 1:200 scale Boeing 777-9 by Darren. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, and without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Really cool model here that I got from the Boeing gift shop at Everett Field. Man, such a cool model here. I'm so excited for this. This was a very fair deal. This was $65, so I thought this was super fair for a 1:200, I think it's die-cast, I'm pretty sure, but anyway, some sort of 777, and really good detail on it, and overall it looks really good, and it has the foldable wingtips. So without any further delay, we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and take a look at this aircraft. So here's the box. Again, really fair price, $65 in the Boeing gift shop. I thought that was very fair. So you got the engine right here, the underbelly for the 777X, and the foldable wingtip. Here is the full aircraft right here. Scale 1:200, articulated wingtips folded only on ground. Here's the aircraft that looks super cool, Boeing 777-9 TM, and you got that price logo, again, $65, and you got the Darren Worldwide Trading Inc., Fairfield, New Jersey. Now again, I thought this was a very fair price for the quality. I took it out of the box to take a look, and this was certainly my favorite option. They were selling 1:200 Maxes for the same price. I was like, why not go ahead and get the triple with the foldable wing gear? And after the Boeing plant tour that I did and getting to see these all around Everett, even though most of them were bare, which would have been the really cool livery to get the bare green, I still thought that this was too cool an opportunity to pass up. So very fair price. It's going to look really good on my desk. I thought it was certainly worth the money. So that's why we have it here. Let's just go ahead, take it out of the plastic and see what we have here as it came all the way back from Seattle. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, or Everett if we want to get really particular. So here it is, as you can see on the front. Again, I'm not sure if they sell these on the website or not, but 65 I thought was a really fair deal. Again, 1:200, so it's large. And yeah, it's that really good, like hollow, or like, you know, it feels die cast. It kind of does. But anyway, here we go. So again, no antennas, of course, but no complaints. It even has a Wi-Fi box, which is really impressive. And here it is. It doesn't have a wood stand either, but I'm kind of bouncing all over the place on time. I'm so excited. But it looks super good. I mean, just look at that. So there's the fuselage. It looks really good. Wi-Fi box, of course, we're going to go into all the details you're going to want to see here momentarily, so stand by. I got way too much here on the table. I can't even get organized without it falling off. Okay, and then we have the wing pieces. So here is the wing, and of course those wingtips do fold, which is absolutely wonderful, and they do come off really easy if you do need to reattach for any reason. So let's go ahead and assemble. So the left one, of course, goes in. Man, this is large for 65. This is a heck of a deal. I'm so glad that I took advantage here. And the landing gear, good quality too, and they do even pivot, which is wonderful. Man, this is big. Wow. This was a great deal, man. This makes the Hawaiian A330 I got at the airplane shop look like a joke. This is super cool. Great deal for 65, not even close. This was a great investment. Man, just look at that, guys. That's huge. So there's that, and it does have a little bit of wing flex, but that makes sense because I'm gonna have it kind of in that in-flight display anyway. So there's the first part. Now we got to get the engines assembled. So let's go ahead and do that. And hopefully you all enjoyed this kind of raw format as I take you along, because this is what all of you would be doing if you had the Model 2. So just showing you kind of the process, how long it takes, and all the details, but you gotta get it together, right? Man, these engines are huge. And I'll talk a little bit more about personal attachments to the 777X here in a moment as well. Just trying to get this put together relatively quick for lighting purposes, so we can get that thumbnail in the review, and then I'll do a little story time here. Even with the longer days, you still run out of time, believe it or not. I know. But happy April, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. So here's the other engine right there. They look really good. If you would told me they were plastic, I'm like, are you sure? Because they look really good. Okay, now we're on to the grand finale of the stand, which is not, or we had the orders on stabilizers too, which is not wood like I was talking about earlier, but it still looks good. They had some that were 50, I think they were 60 that had wood, but they didn't have the foldable wingtips. I was like, well, if I'm gonna go ahead and spend all this money, wouldn't I want foldable wingtips? It's gonna sit on my desk anyway. The wood stand doesn't make or break it, you know, so I thought that this was the right deal, and I'm certainly very happy with it right now. So it appears that it goes in like that. So let me go ahead and get that in there. Very good. And then we have one more. So let me go ahead and get that out, and then we'll go ahead and review. Again, I'm sorry that the assembly takes a little bit, but it does. And then the stand's really big too, so that's another big advantage of this. So that's super cool. And then you put it on the stand. Man, this is super sweet, guys. please do yourself a favor and go to the Boeing plant, get a tour, and then get yourself a very reasonably priced 1-200 aircraft. Man, that sits up big. Wow, that's impressive. And there it is, the 777-9X. Super cool. And then I have to do the best part. There we go. Man, that is so freaking cool. Here it is, the Boeing 777-9X. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple pictures and then we'll go ahead and do the review. Man, this is really, really cool. Alrighty guys, here it is, the Boeing 777-9X. Absolute talent show, man. I'm so excited to have this. Life is great, and what a cool model this is. Very reasonable price. We're not gonna waste any further time. We're just gonna go ahead and get started with all these details, man. It is looking absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and get started. Here we go for the cockpit windows, along with the nose cone right here, which is looking very nice. Now, of course, Boeing's modified their livery a little bit over time, but of course, they've always had this navy design down here, so you can see that. And then you got this lighter blue shade here in the middle, and then a great cheat line up here, so that's quite nice. Boeing 777X, and then you get some various ports and pitot tubes and whatnot, so all that looks very good right there, so we absolutely love to see that. Landing gear details a little bit basic. I wish they would have put the registration right here on the door, but that's all right. And then as of for the strut and the gear, the tire and the actual rim is actually really nice. The strut's a little bit thick, but it's still good. And I do have to remember this is a 1-200, not a 1-400. So that could also be impacting the view a little bit too. But overall, it still looks pretty good. So all that detail does look fantastic, and they did a good job on all that. Here's the L1 door, and you can see the colors coming through, which looks really good. You do have the handle and some sort of window or whatever that may be, so all that does look very good right there. A little speck right there, I'm not exactly sure what we're representing there, but we do have Boeing here on the underside, which looks quite nice, and I think they did a really good job on that detail. You can also note that the top of the fuselage kind of has that white metallic color, which is really cool. And then as we continue through, you have all the windows. Now, it's really cool. The 777X kind of seems like to me a hybrid between the 777-300 and the 787-10. It just, when the winglets are out, it seems like a 787, and then the engines, of course, but when the winglets are in, it kind of seems more like a triple. It's really cool. It's kind of goofy, but it looks really nice. So you can see where that sheet line comes down, which is really cool right there. And then you get this lighter shade of blue. So that looks really good. Then you got the L2 door right there, which also looks fantastic. And you got the various pieces and whatnot. So that's quite nice. And then you get the really cool kind of aqua blue that gets going with those lines. So you can see where that just kind of randomly starts, which is really nice. The Wi-Fi box looks really good. Again, antennas would have been really cool, but beggars can't be choosers on a reasonably priced 1-200 model. The engines look really good, and they have really good detail on them. You got that line right there along with the exhaust. Especially from a glance, it looks really good. There, of course, is the fan blades, which look really good too. And of course, they're not going to spin, so I won't even show that, but they still look really good. Oh, what am I talking about? I take that back. That might be one of the coolest parts of the plane is the fan blade spin. So I was not expecting that. I apologize for over talking myself, but that's what happens when you're looking around. So that's wonderful, and those look really cool. So that's really nice to see right there. You got the leading edge of the wing, which also looks really good. So you got some phenomenal detail on that right there. That's quite nice. And then, of course, you have the winglet. So this is probably the coolest part of the aircraft is that the winglet goes up. And then, of course, it can go flat as well. So all that looks really good. You can see also kind of the wave of it, which is realistic to real life. So very good job here by Darren for getting all that detail in there. That's really nice. So I'll probably keep it up most of the time because what other aircraft you can do that on? That's a wide body. Not really any. So certainly definitely really cool right there. And then, of course, you do have the flaps and speed brakes, which look really good in this aircraft. Probably the only major, I hate to say complaint, but observation I would have that's a negative is that the landing gear is so far outward, if that makes sense. So you can see how far out they sit due to how the wings are structured. So you can see they don't look very good from that perspective, but luckily if it's just sitting like this, unless if you're just dead on looking at it, it's a little bit tougher to tell. So that's good news in that department. You do have those gray cheat lines that start in conjunction with the aqua ones. So you see those coming up there to the L3 door, and all that detail looks really good. Of course, that's where about the economy section would start on most of these aircraft. And I think the 777X program does have a handful of buyers like Ethiopian and I think Emirates and a couple of those. So that's certainly very exciting. So hopefully more to come in that department as it's a very cool aircraft. You can see where the fuselage comes back into the center there, and then you got all this room now. Again, this is kind of where I'm getting that 70-10 vibe with how long it is, so that's certainly really cool as well, so that's quite nice. And then that takes you all the way to the back here. We're going to find 777X here on the bottom, and let me lower the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit more. And then the darker blue, which starts up again on both sectors. So you can see L4 door with all the colors. So you get that turquoise kind of pattern, starting with those ovals, which is really cool. And the navy goes back to a consistent paste right there, which is awesome. Registration of this aircraft, November 779 X-ray whiskey. Excuse me. And you got the beautiful tail, so you have 777 with a drop shadow, which looks really good, which is the background there. You can see the black outline, which is pretty cool. And then that big 9 right there, which looks really cool. They have some really cool tails in the Everett, I think it's Boeing Future of Flight Museum, with a 748 tail similar to that and some other tails. So really cool to see here on the Boeing 777-9. And they also have a gorgeous, large Boeing 777-9, like a 1 to, I'm guessing like a 1 to 30. I'm not exactly sure how big it is, 1 to 40, 1 to 50, but it's a life-size plane and it is really, really sweet. So very cool to observe that, but you can see back here on the tail. And you got the horizontal stabilizers, the APU, and the other various details here too. So all that looks quite wonderful, and they did a really good job. So definitely really glad to get to see that right there. And there's the inside of the winglet too. And for grins, let me show you what it would look like folded down. So as you can see, it still looks really good, but again, it looks too much like a Dreamliner if you don't have it folded up. So you got to fold them up to really make it cool. Such a cool plane, man. So glad I got it. So on the right side, you do have the cargo loader, which is really cool. So great to see that detail added on this aircraft, which I think is fair for what we're paying here for this. And overall, the rest of the detail looks really good. You got those 2 cargos in the back, and overall, just a great looking aircraft right there. Top of the aircraft, let's go ahead and take a look so you can see the various details here. It's really large. You can see the palm of my hand there. So it's definitely not a small model by any means. So it looks really good on desk, especially for a general enthusiast. So that's really cool. Or a general purpose. In the bottom there, you can see the Skymarks stand, so a Skymarks product there, and then you got the 777X there on the bottom, and all that looks really good, and I think they did a really good job on that aircraft right there. So as the light diminishes, what are the thoughts? It's a really cool aircraft, guys. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you do get to go to the Boeing plant, but I'm sure these might be on the Boeing website. So definitely a very reasonable price, and of course you don't have to pay shipping when you go to if you are in Seattle and able to pick it up from the Boeing store, so it's really cool. I believe it was like $73 by the time tax was done, 72 or 73. So was it worth it? I say absolutely for my purposes because of all those stories I was mentioning about the 777X, including getting to see them at Boeing in Painfield and in the Bear Green, and then of course this livery I've also seen as well. Mainly at Boeing Field, but I think I've seen a handful at Everett as well, so that's been wonderful. And then again, these are currently being produced inside of the Boeing plant, which has the 7 bays, of course, and the 2 other facilities there, so 9 total facilities. I believe I think it might be 3 and 4 are working on them. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's just 4, because I think 5 and 6 are working on mainly 777 freighters, and I think it's 1 and through 3 that are working on the 737 MAX. So overall, it's really cool. Please go to Everett, do yourself a favor. It's a whole new world of aviation. I'm so excited to go back. Hopefully Airlines International, our one-day collectible show, gets going there. So there's even more with regards to what we do on this channel predominantly. But of course, the real life aspect will cover all of what you're seeing now and more. So I really hope all of you are excited for it. It's going to be an absolute blast, and we have so much to look forward to. And again, please go ahead and get yourself a beautiful Boeing 777-9. This is going right on my desk after this. I'm really excited to look at it for quite some time to come, and it will go really well with all the planes up there. So I'm very excited for that. And why not a little sunset action for you too, since you're already here. So all that's looking great. And I really hope all of you are excited for that. But nevertheless, that'll go ahead and do it for today's video, everybody. Really fun stories with 777X. And feel free to check out my airline collectible haul featuring all of the items I got from my Upper Rocky Mountain and Pacific Northwest excursion from April 2024. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name's Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process. Do the love and love you do. My name's Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.